This is going to be a fairly short video about the front suspension and the little modifications I'm making for the Lotus Excel that's my electric vehicle conversion project. So the first thing I'll show you, this is one of the original front suspension arms, and you can see it's got a spring platform on it which takes the large diameter spring you can see on the left, and that would have a spring pad on the top just to reduce the harshness and vibration transmitted to the chassis. Because the weight will be changing a little bit, I will need to adjust the ride height, and I may just want to run it a little bit lower than stock anyway. I'm not going for any significant lowering, but I wanted the adjustability. So what I did as a result is I got another pair of lower arms and I modified them. So I've removed the spring platform and I've put a little notch at the back there that clears the adjuster on the damper, which is one of the criticisms of these Protecs, is that the adjuster is isn't in line with the mounting bush. So you can run into clearance issues, and this is an example. There's a number of ways I could have done the spring, and I could have ordered a new shorter spring, because obviously the spring platform is now higher up, and I did actually originally consider that, and the springs would have been sort of £75 each, that sort of range, to have them custom made. But I'd still have to make a bottom spring seat, as Protec don't do a large diameter spring seat for these. The rear dampers came with a large seat to reuse the original springs, but since the fronts are normally designed to use the seat on the lower arm, they don't offer, even to special order, a larger spring seat. I did a little bit of hunting around, and from Rally Spares I could buy standard 2¼ inch inside diameter race springs for around, I can't remember if the prices were with or without VAT, but they were £25, so even with VAT they were under 30. So the spring on the left is the original, which is £350 per inch rating. The spring on the right is exactly the same rate, £350 per inch. And one significant advantage is the spring on the left weighs 4.3 kilograms and the spring on the right weighs 2 kilograms. So there's actually a considerable weight saving, which will just give a little bit of improvement to the suspension response. But there's an issue with most people's use of a 2¼ inch spring on damper on the Lotus chassis, and that is the style of top mount. So the way these dampers are typically used with a 2¼ inch spring is to fit a top spring collar with the spring captured between the two collars, and the issue is up here, and that's this style of damper mount. The bush at the bottom is designed to be able to accept the weight of the vehicle through that bush. If this was a Lotus Elite, then the spring platform would be on the damper and the entire weight of the vehicle would be taken by that bolt and that bush. But the spring through the rubber pad would butt up to the chassis. So this top mounting bush is not taking the weight of the vehicle, it is only taking the damper loading, which with the vehicle sitting still is basically zero. This style of bush does not like having the weight of the vehicle sitting on it. These from Protec are rubber. On a lot of the replacement dampers they're polyurethane, and polyurethane does not like continuous unidirectional loads. It has a tendency to deform and split. this bush is not rated for the weight of the vehicle, and it will squish down, and if nothing else is likely to result in a much harsher ride, that you'll get more vibration transmitted through the vehicle because this bush will be highly compressed. So to solve this problem, I did a little mod to this upper damper pad, which is, you can see where it's been cut, and that was a collar that sat inside the original large spring, and I've machined up an adapter which sits inside that rubber collar and will, and I've got another one out of a packet, adapt to a 2 1/4 inch inside diameter spring. So as a result, all of the spring loads will still go into the chassis mount and not through the damper top mount. So I've just mocked up how this all goes together, and you can see the spring sitting on the adapter, which is sitting on the rubber spring isolator up onto the chassis mount.